Now, Peter Brabeck, Nestlé CEO, has threatened to resign at today's AGM if shareholders do not approve a dual mandate structure. Nestlé's management are arguing that if Brabeck takes the role of chairman, this will ensure consistency and sustainability of strategy. But proponents of good corporate governance, led by the Swiss foundation Ethos, claim this move will irradiate the board's independence. For some analysis, we're joined by Dr Paul Toyne, MD at Article 13. Paul, nice to see you. Are you aghast at the idea of having a co-CEO and chairman at Nestlé?
I have to say, yes, I'm somewhat taken aback. It's certainly not consistent with the latest thinking in terms of corporate governance, where in particular in Switzerland, I think you see over 75% of the Swiss companies listed on the SMI of actually having a split responsibility. In other words, a separate CEO and a separate chairman. So it goes against the wisdom and the learnings that have come out of scandals, corporate scandals such as Enron and Tyco, for example.
What about this point? You know, they're putting the point, of course, look, it's a continuation of strategy. It will be good for shareholders, be good for the company, good for employees. We like the strategy, it's working. There won't be any disruptions.
Well, let's just think about what the roles and responsibilities are of a chairman and indeed of a chief executive. And the chief executive really, in our opinion, is actually about management of the business, of the company. And the chairman has a different function and a different responsibility, and it's all about accountability. Accountability to who? To the shareholders. So if you have a CEO and a chairman, basically the chairman's judging the CEO on his management ability, calling them for account, and there's an issue there of a conflict of interest. In a sense, it's a bit like asking a student to complete an exam and then to mark it himself.
Obviously, we can point out instances where things have gone wrong, because, I mean, would it have made a difference at Parmalat if the chairman had been separate from the CEO? I mean, they could have just colluded together anyway. I mean, they were the same person, but if they hadn't been, would it have made a difference?
Well, if you look at some of the independent directors who are on the Parmalat board, they were, you know, screaming, saying, look, we're not sure whether we're being steered in the right direction, or we're giving all this information. And that's an important point when you consider that the chairman also has the responsibility of setting the agenda for the board meetings, ensuring that the right and most relevant information is presented to the directors. And of course, the question mark I would have if I was on the board of Nestlé in a few months' time is, am I getting the right information? Where is the accountability and the independence? And you're right, I mean, even now in America, I think it's the Securities and Exchange Commission are investigating Ahold, the food giant, where you have both the chairman and the CEO as one, a combined role, and they're being investigated for fraud.
But are there instances where it does work? Let's look at the UK. There have been some instances of co-CEOs and chairmen where there haven't been a problem, haven't there?
It's quite rare, and actually the trend is to have that separation, and it's for good reason. And I think one of the problems maybe with Nestlé is to do with succession planning. They haven't found a suitable chairman, and yet they're going to appoint two independent chairmen to the board. I mean, to me, you know, they've created this problem. It would be far more sensible to be thinking, well, how do I get the best out of my CEO? You know, giving him extra responsibilities of a chair as a chairman may not be the best way.
Is this unusual for Swiss companies? Because traditionally, I've the view Swiss companies have always done quite well on the sort of succession and the planning, and they've sort of had guys that have been with them for 20, 30 years and have grown up through the company, and you know, it's always been a fairly sort of organic process. Is this an unusual situation for a Swiss company to be in?
I think it is, and I'm not really sure why Nestlé are in this situation. But one of the concerns I would have if I was a shareholder of Nestlé is, you know, there's only so many hours in a day. Is this the chairman and CEO going to be Superman? I mean, he's already a director of two independent director for two other boards. Nestlé is listed in Vietnam, Tokyo, Paris. You know, the chairman's got a lot of talking to do with his shareholders. I mean, how much time can you actually,
It's a lot of investor relations, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Paul, thanks very much indeed for that. Dr Paul Toyne, MD at Article